What's going on, geeks? You're listening to episode 296 of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. My name is not Cody, it is Lj.Lowery. And I am here with Shelley Nollan.
Hello, hello.
I believe Cody mentioned last week that he is on vacation, or at least coming back from vacation. But you still get us here this week, and we got some fun stuff to talk about.
Heck yeah.
But first, be sure to check out the shop, geeksundergrace.com/shop, if you're looking for some cool shirts. And
nice, comfy, cozy shirts.
Yeah, they're amazing. The best shirts ever. And we still got the gaiters, and we still got stickers that you can put on your car or whatever you want to slap stickers on and represent. So check out the shop, geeksundergrace.com/shop. Our highlights of the week are game delays. I can't really say we're geeking out about game delays.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
We're talking about it.
Yeah. And then what sounds kind of interesting is an I Am Legend sequel. And then lastly, we got some streaming services making some big moves this month. Exciting stuff in the TV realm, which I feel like hasn't been the case for the past few weeks.
Yeah.
So... Alrighty, so we'll get into gaming. Anything you've been geeking out in the gaming world?
So, I haven't played anything new. My husband actually did get Triangle Strategy, so I've been watching him play, but I haven't really watched enough to, get a good impression about it.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like, first impression, I've seen a lot of people say the same thing, where it's looks cool. All the names are really weird. Not the names of the people, but just the names of, obviously Triangle Strategy is already a dumb name, but it's the main war was between Salt and Iron. They called it the Salt Iron War. And it's just one of those things where it's okay, it seems like the story's a little bit predictable in some ways. But we haven't seen the rest of it. And the voice acting, a lot of people have been complaining about the English voice acting. It's gotten better, I think. And again, I'm not even the one playing it. I've just been listening to it sort of passively. And
yeah.
Even I was kind of ooh, it just kind of sounds like it's not even really the voice actors' fault. It's there's no voice direction for a lot of this, so...
okay.
But it's gotten better. We were talking to one of our friends who said that they actually changed it to Japanese voices, and that helped, so it's oh yeah, I guess we could do that.
Probably sounded way better, yeah.
Just make it subbed anime kind of thing. But anyway, that's a cool looking game for sure, and I know he's having fun with that, but
Cool.
I already finished Pokemon's Legends Arceus, but I kind of more finished it now because it's there's a final boss, then credits roll, but then there's an epilogue, a post-game big boss.
Okay.
And then there's you collect literally every single Pokemon in the Pokedex and finish it, and then there's stuff after that, right? So
yeah.
I'm now on that last phase where I beat the post-game big boss, and now I'm in that final phase.
You just got catching to do.
Exactly. And man, it's so the final boss was really cool. I want to say that's the final boss because it felt more like a final boss than the regular game boss. And I saw a lot of my friends on Twitter and stuff really saying it was one of the best final bosses they've seen. That's
awesome.
Any game. I'm just are you serious? And it was definitely very cool, but the problem was I feel I got spoiled. And so that was a little bit disappointing, and so I was I kind of feel I knew what was coming just because, and I mean, it's just because I took a while to get to that point. Everyone had already gotten to that point, and so they're posting about it, and so I'm just okay, cool. So I have a theory about what's gonna happen, and my theory was correct, and I'm okay, but it was still really cool.
Still fun to experience it, yeah.
It was still fun, that's for sure. So I'm happy about that, but yeah, now I'm to the point where it's yeah, you gotta catch everything 100%, but it's some of these new variants, and these new Pokemon in Hisui, whatever you call it, it's very hard to get. So it's also I've gotten more shinies. I haven't even gone shiny hunting, but I got a shiny Teddiursa, for example. And I'm this is awesome because I need an Ursaluna. So I evolved it to an Ursaring, and I'm just okay, cool. I'll just use this to get my Ursaluna. How do I get an Ursaluna? You have to wait until the full moon, and there's moon cycles in this game, which I didn't realize until very late into the game.
I didn't realize that either. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, which is like cool, but I'm like, oh gosh, like I don't want to freaking like I basically will have to go to sleep and go to sleep and go to sleep until I get the right moon, which like honestly like isn't too difficult, I guess, but it's like that's kind of annoying. It's like a lot of work, but then it's like not only do you do that, but you also have to give an item. Granted, I got the item from a quest, but I'm just like that would suck if I didn't have that item. And then there's like to get Wordier from Stantler, you have to use one move like 40 times in agile mode, or like using agile move like 40 times or something. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So it's like I have like all the basic Pokemon. At this point, it is like just finishing up the legendaries. I already have quite a few legendaries, but it's like I have to finish like the legendaries. I have to get Spiritomb, which I know there's like a whole thing with that. And these extra sort of Pokemon that's like, oh, they had to just give them a bunch of steps to make it more difficult for you. But at least they're like kind of interesting versus like, you know, the most interesting evolutions in most games is just like a trade or something, or like you have to go out of your way to get this really ridiculous item and then give it to your Pokemon or something. So at least it's like more interesting than that.
Yeah, they got a little creative with it seems like. And
when it comes to like lore and stuff, it definitely makes it more interesting. So I'm like okay with it. It's just sort of like, oh man, this is gonna be a little harder than I thought. So definitely is now a game that I just kind of like play. I have nothing else going on, or if I feel like it, like I want to scratch that Pokemon itch again, like I can just pull it up and I'll have stuff to do. So that's actually pretty cool. But yeah, I haven't been playing anything else. I might have started up Horizon not Zero Dawn, Forbidden West once or twice, but I feel like I'm taking an unintentional break from that game. There's just like other things I'm doing. Like, for example, I started reading Rhythm of War again, which I know is not a game. That's
nice.
But it's like, that's one of those things where it's like, okay, that's going to take a lot of time. And that was time that I was kind of using for like either Pokemon or Horizon. But now I'm like finally far enough in the book where I'm like invested with things that are going on. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm just not playing Horizon for a minute then.
Yeah.
I will come back to it 100%, but it's also like everyone's talking about Elden Ring, and like I'm not gonna play Elden Ring because I know I'm gonna be really bad. It's not gonna be fun for me personally, but that's also part of it. Is like I see people are hyped up about a different game. Like with Pokemon, everyone was hyped up about Pokemon. I was like playing it, and it was cool. Then like people were talking about Horizon for a little bit, but again, it was only for like a week because then Elden Ring came out, and so then it's like I don't have anyone else. Like I have some other people who
everybody else has already moved on. But
everyone everyone's already moved on. So I'm just
that's a bummer.
Like, yeah. Again, I will 100% come back to it. I fully intend on beating it. I just might be a minute, which is fine.
Yeah. That's cool.
But yeah, that's what I played. Sounds like you've been playing Elden Ring. Speaking of
yes, I have. I actually had another game listed on here, but I forgot I probably have an embargo so I erased it from my notes. But Elden Ring is the game that's been hooking me. Which it's surprising because it's like I've had a love-hate relationship with the Souls games. Like, I understood them, and then I just beat my head over them, and I'm just like, and then I end up dropping them. But this one I've seemed to keep going with. So the first big boss is Magritte, and that's the one where it's like, ooh, have you beat this boss yet? Because it's like the first major one. And then there's the one that's even tougher than him called Godric, and he's like the one that everybody's like, oh, okay, well, now you got to beat him. And so I've beaten that one. And so now it's like I've got a ton of hours into that game. People are much stronger than me and have put more time in it than me now. But it's just one of those things where it's like I'm still pushing through. It's still fun. It's one of those things where it's like if I'm stuck somewhere, I can just go to another dungeon or go somewhere else where I can get stronger. Yeah. I've also found a very cheeseball rune farming area. Where it's like I can just go to and like farm runes whenever I really feel like I need a boost. Nice. So that's also kind of like cheating, but I'm like, whatever.
It's in the game. I feel like those games, it's like you do whatever you gotta do to win.
Yeah, you do what you gotta do. Yeah,
everything will just kill you by sneezing on you. So like, if that's what it takes, like use it. I feel like there's no easy mode. Like you just gotta take advantage of what's given to you.
Yeah, I'm liking. Maybe it's because I also understand like it more since I've played more D&D. But it's like you very much have to have a character build in mind, but then you can kind of, like, once you figure that out, you can kind of do whatever you want. So it's like,
nice.
I started off as, like, a very barbarian-like character, which I still am, but now I can sling fire. Like, I can sling, like, fireballs now. So it's like, I've still made my character beefy and strong. He has a little more dexterity, but also he can throw fire now. And I basically two-hand most of my weapons, unless I need a shield for projectiles. But it's like, I have the, like, encumbrance resistance to where, like, now I can actually hold a sword and an axe, or like a giant pickaxe I have, and then in the other hand I can just hold my shield and my incantation, like, amulet thing I gotta use. So it's like, now I have, like, I can hold the weight to carry multiple items now. So it's like, I feel like I'm able to do more now, which is really fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but it was very cool starting with that barbarian, because he does have a pretty decent shield that starts off a little bit better than most, and so it put me in a place where I'm like, oh, I can actually, like, do damage and handle some of it, which was a good way to start. But it's super fun. I made a playlist full of Lord of the Rings music, Game of Thrones music.
Let's go.
Castlevania from the Netflix show. And I actually was listening to NF the other day, and I was like, ooh, some of this dude's music would go great in a Souls game. So I threw some NF in there, and I'm like, this fits. Like,
that's awesome.
His music is totally, like, dark and sad and depressing most of the time, and I'm like, that's a Souls game right there. So
I love that.
I threw some other stuff in there just to, like, switch it up, and that, like, listening to that playlist while I play has enhanced the experience as well. So yeah. So yeah, it's been good. I've been playing that a lot, and I'll probably get to talk about the other game in a few weeks. But yeah, that's what I've been up to in the gaming world. And I didn't add this, but I'm also 2/3 of the way through Kenna from playing on stream. So I'm nearing the end of that, and that game gets super emotional every time you, like, set a tormented soul, like, or a soul that can't pass on, like. When you finally set them free, it's, like, super emotional. You get to learn their backstory and their connection to the world, and it, like, makes you want to shed a tear. It's cool. That's a good game to play, though. I recommend that too. There's an easy mode and everything.
We have the game. We literally bought it, and I think it was because it was on sale. But neither Daniel nor I have even played it yet, and it's not.
Y'all will get to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm more than comfortable buying a game I know I'm gonna play eventually on sale and playing it, like, way later. So, like, it's gonna happen. Especially, like, he's a teacher, right? He has so much time over the summer. Probably he'll just play it then.
That's what I was thinking. It's like, y'all will probably play it during, like, a holiday or summer break or something.
Exactly.
You guys will find you guys will find a downtime to play it, so that's cool.
For sure. Yeah. I say him, I know he's the one who's going to probably play it first, because he's a little bit more excited about it than I am, even though I am excited about it, but it's like, I also have other things going on, so.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that's good.
Yeah, it's good. So that's the other thing. We will get into gaming news now. Pretty short and sweet here. The first one is, it's kind of a bummer, but also it's like, we don't need, like, we're already, like, knee deep in video games, like, and it's barely March. But Forspoken got delayed to October. It was supposed to come out in May.
I feel like May is, like, I'm kind of glad, because again, we're, like, really knee deep in a bunch of games right now. Like, again, we were just talking about Horizon, we're talking about Elden Ring, talking about other stuff. And I feel like May, it's like, what is going on with, like, all these huge games? It's at least initially scheduled. Obviously, this was delayed. At least initially scheduled to come out first half of 2022. I'm like, what is going on? It's like, it's like, we already know that there's gonna be some banger games late 2022.
Oh, I know. It's like, I'm thinking, like, October would be cool, but also, like, depending on when in October, like, I hope it doesn't get overshadowed. Like, early October would be great, but, like, as the fall rolls in, so do more bigger games. So we'll see.
And I know, like, Pokemon, like, that's going to be holiday almost certainly. Like, I don't
that's
even
November.
Think necessarily. Yeah, so that's, like, also close to that time. It's just like, oh my gosh, 2022. Like, we are 3 months in, and we're already freaking out. You know, when is Breath of the Wild 2 going to come out? Is it going to be this year? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, there's so much. Yeah. So yeah, Forspoken got delayed to October, and hopefully that'll give people some room to breathe, and hopefully give the devs room to breathe also.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah. So that's not really a bad thing. The other delay that feels like a cause for concern at this point is Halo Infinite has delayed their co-op capabilities again. Halo Infinite co-op modes and stuff.
That was more of a bummer for sure.
That was supposed to come out in May also, like with Season 2 of the multiplayer. But they said, like, oh, this open world has actually, like, brought more challenges to us than anything. Like, to have a 4-player online experience and to do split screen. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how many people are still playing Halo, and I don't know if, like I don't know what, like, I know Halo was cool and when it came out for, like, a month or so, but I don't know where everybody's at with it now. So, if people are still playing it, that's cool, but it's like, I don't know if people are still playing the campaign or not. I know some people waited for co-op, but now they're going to have to wait longer. So, yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. But
yeah,
maybe the TV show will tide everybody over until then. So
that's right.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's another March thing.
March
is the show.
and April, May? What is going on?
Yep.
Like, Kirby comes out this month.
Oh, yeah, Kirby does.
Oh, my gosh.
Persona 4 Arena comes out pretty soon. Chocobo GP comes out this week.
No way.
Gosh, there's so much. Yeah, there's a lot.
We'll be busy. We'll be busy.
Yep. Yeah, so, yeah. That's kind of it for the gaming news.
Sweet. I guess we can move on to movies.
Yeah.
I haven't watched any movies, but you watched the Batman, right?
Yes, I did go see the Batman. It was good. It was very good. My only thing is, like, I feel like it may be too long for most people. Like, there was a few parts where I kind of caught myself, like, kind of, like, not dozing off, but, like, I was just, like, caught myself in those slow moments where, like, I was borderline. And I was like, oh, yeah, like... So, like, but it's deliberate in everything it does. Like, I feel like there's a reason it's that long. The tone is really good. The soundtrack is amazing. The soundtrack gave me old school Batman Returns vibes. The actors are great. Robert Pattinson is great. Zoe Kravitz is great. Colin Farrell was great as the Penguin. I was very impressed with all the actors. Yeah, I don't know what else there is to say without, like, spoiling it, but there's just, from the action scenes to the detective scenes, like, you're definitely going to get Batman as the detective in this one more so than, like... I mean, there are action scenes, of course, but it's like, you really get to see Batman be, like, the world's greatest detective or whatever, you know, like...
That's cool. I'm a fan of that.
And it's very early in his career as well, so, like... Honestly, I feel like this Batman has the most character development that Batman has had on screen. Like, I really feel that.
I love that.
Just the way that movie goes and the way he starts in the movie and then the way he ends the movie, like, is just really good character development. So, that's all I'm going to say before I talk too much. So, it's really good. I recommend people go watch it. I do see some people saying, like, oh, it's actually not that good, which is, like, fine. Like, I get if people feel that way, but also it's, like, I understand maybe why some people wouldn't like it. But it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, so those are my thoughts on the Batman.
Yeah, I am planning on watching it probably sometime this week, ideally sometimes this week, so probably next week I'll talk about it. It's like one of the few movies where at this point, like, you know, it's come out and I'm just like, you know what? I do want to go to theaters. I do want to see it. I actually have time this week too, which is exciting. So I'm hoping that will happen. But again, like, I'm not usually interested in DC stuff, but I think the fact that one of my friends said too that, like, this is a good, like, standalone Batman movie.
Yes, I was gonna say that too.
Yeah, you already know Batman is.
Yeah, like, so that's another thing, is, like, they operate on you already knowing who Batman is, who Catwoman is, like, it's not like they're trying to, like, show you, like, I mean, I guess it's technically a spoiler, but they almost do the, like, Spider-Man, you know, like how, you know, the Homecoming movies, like, they don't show you Ben's death, like, they don't really acknowledge it. Like, you don't... Basically, the Batman doesn't put you through the death of his parents for, like, a 5th time. Well, you know, like, which I think is cool. They operate on you already knowing who the character is, which I love that they do that.
Allows more room for the actual character growth within the movie. Because you don't have to set it up to, like, oh, guys, like, this is what, you know, Batman, this is who Batman is, this is who Catwoman is, whatever. It's like, it's more of a show, don't tell, it sounds like, which is cool. It's sort of like you already know Batman, this is the type of Batman he is. And then that's where you go from, instead of like, here's who Batman is in general. So I like that. I think that's good. It's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to find if I can get an opportunity for another watch, but I'm like 3 hours is a lot of time to set aside.
Oh, yeah, that super is.
Yeah, I didn't even go watch Far From Home or whatever, No Way Home. I didn't even go watch that one a second time, but we'll see if I make it another time to see Batman.
Yeah.
But anyway, we can get on to the movie news.
Yeah, so we were just talking about DC, so this is a perfect transition. Although, very different tone shift. Very different tone. We got a new trailer for The League of Super Pets, which I think we've talked about a couple times on the podcast, but if you don't know, it's animated, 3D animation, by the way, and it's like Dwayne The Rock Johnson is Crypto, the super dog, and he's working with all the other super pets of all the other DC superheroes, and so there's like Kevin Hart is Ace, the like dog that helps Batman and stuff. And there's a pig, I don't remember all the names, but there's a turtle, there's a squirrel, I think, so they're all kind of working together to probably save the world or something, maybe because they're super parents, super masters. I don't know what you would refer to them as. They're best friends. They're all, you know, MIA or something. But Keanu Reeves is Batman.
I kind of love it. Like,
it's so silly. Like, I think watching this trailer, I'm just like, you know what? This reminds me so much of The Secret Life of Pets, except it looks funnier. The animation doesn't look as good. Just in the trailers. Could be different.
It does look kind of flat, yeah.
It looks a little flat, but it looks a little bit funnier, and what I will give it over The Secret Life of Pets, and granted I don't even really like that movie, this feels like this has a reason to exist.
Yeah.
Unlike Secret Life of Pets, I feel like that was a movie that was literally just like we need to make a movie. People like pets, let's make a movie about pets. This one's like you know, like, no, I'm not a fan of like nostalgia factor things, but like this did used to be a show. And so at least there's content to go from.
Yeah, there are canon pets that these heroes did have.
Yeah, it's not like they're making this up. It's like, this is just a thing that everyone forgot about. And they're just like, hey, remember this? And it's like, that's, you know, it's been long enough. I feel like it's fine.
Yeah, they had that 90s Crypto the Superdog show that was like,
I watched
for some reason, I remember enjoying it.
Yeah, I don't know why. I feel like I did too. But it's just, but at the same time though, it's just another one of those anime movies where it's just like literally so many freaking celebrities as voice actors, not like actual voice actors.
Yeah.
So it's whatever. It's like, you know, it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson, it's Kevin Hart, it's we just talked about Keanu Reeves. John Krasinski is Superman.
Yo, yeah.
Which is funny. Like, it's all funny. It's all fine. But it's just, it always breaks my heart a little bit every time I see an anime movie that their biggest sort of feature to the movie is the voice actors being all these celebrities. Like, it's just a little bit like, okay, so that's where all your money went versus animation and potentially other things. So who knows? I mean, it could be a really good movie. Who knows? Maybe it's gonna come out and blow everybody away. They'll be like, wow, this is so funny, this is so good, this is so entertaining. I mean, that's, you know, best for them. Best luck to them. I hope that's the case. I just kind of feel like I've seen this movie before, if that makes sense. But besides that, we also have a announcement for an I Am Legend sequel, which is kind of crazy. I actually never saw the first one. But now
that's really good.
I was gonna say, I mentioned to my husband. He like came in before we were starting the podcast. He was like looking at my notes. He's like, "Oh, what? There's gonna be a sequel? Like, I haven't seen the first one, but I really want to." I'm just like, "Oh yeah!" Like, so that's cool. Of course, Will Smith, right?
Yeah.
And I think Michael B. Jordan as well.
Yeah, so and it's exciting. The first time I was reading on this article that it's the first time they'll be working together on a movie.
Are you serious?
Which feels like, why hasn't that already been done?
Yeah, that's crazy. But
so,
I guess Yeah, now
Yeah.
I think about it. I haven't seen
Yeah.
any movies with them together, so.
Yeah. The other thing I was reading about this article that they were saying that well, I'm not gonna spoil the ending so there was a ending that tested differently that they didn't use that they're saying they could go off of, or they're saying like they could go off of the ending that did end up getting used because they reshot it because the original ending didn't test better and the original ending lines up with the original book more. But also like I think like a sequel can work in with this as well. So it's like if they do go off of the theatrical ending they ended up using, it could work. But yeah, I feel like Michael B. Jordan and Will Smith would be that's a awesome duo that I didn't like expect. Like I thought that should have been a thing already. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. I think that's something.
I Am Legend is a good movie, and they also predicted there's a shot in there that has a Batman and Superman logo, and this was made in 2007. So it's just one of those. It's one of those things like you see him walking around in the city, and there's a big old poster with a bat or with the Superman logo inside a Batman logo. I was like, oh wow, they totally like predicted that. That was going to be a thing.
That's very funny.
That's like a fun Easter egg. That's pretty cool. But yeah, it's a good movie. I recommend it.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll have to watch it.
Yeah,
that is all of our movie news. So I guess we could transition to TV. Unfortunately, I also didn't watch any shows. I will say I watched a lot of Smash this weekend, so that's why I watched.
Awesome.
Because Summit was this weekend. There's also a big Smash Tournament regional tournament in Portland, so I was watching that too because a lot of my friends drove down for that, and we didn't, and I'm glad we didn't because I don't like Portland. Sorry if any listeners like. I'm so sorry any listeners who might be in Portland. I have nothing against you. I just personally don't like being in Portland. But that's what I did instead of watching shows.
That's cool.
So.
I want to add that I think it's awesome that like just because that Smash isn't going to be at Evo doesn't mean that community isn't going anywhere. Yeah, like, I think that is so cool. That's like that's just a big, well-known stage, but that community is going to be alive.
We're doing stuff. Moving. We're moving.
Yeah. Yep. So that's exciting.
Yeah. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched much else either. Just the usual, like Clone Wars and a little bit more Reacher. Like nothing. Nice. I don't really have much to say about any of that stuff. Like it's still fun, and like Clone Wars is still good. I'm in the middle of a plot line in Clone Wars. I don't know how much I want to say because I don't know if people are like currently watching it still. But I'm in the middle of a plot line where it's like this doesn't feel like something the Jedi would actually do, but it also reminds me like this was a sketchy time where even the Jedi kind of didn't have morals in some ways. Yeah. So I kind of had to like be like, okay, like I had to suspend some like disbelief there. But
yeah, that's Clone Wars is interesting. I haven't even watched most of Clone Wars, but just from what I have seen and heard, it's interesting how it really is a good sort of, I guess you could say, sequel to the prequel movies in such a way where it's like those movies sort of introduce the concept of, the Jedi aren't actually like heroes. They're not actually always morally aligned or morally, correct. I think it's cool to hear that Clone Wars kind of did the same thing, especially because like I feel like it so easily could have just been more of like they could have literally just done those prequels and set up Anakin to Darth Vader. So sorry if people haven't seen the prequels yet and don't know that's a thing. I'm so sorry. But they literally could have done that and just have Anakin turn evil. But it's like they introduced this concept of the Jedi being not very great, and they continue that in the Clone Wars. And because now there's like all these shows that like Dave Filoni and folks are working on, so it's like it's cool to see that even carry over to like now it's way past the prequels. Now it's way past, and we still get this idea that like the Jedi aren't perfect people. They're not even necessarily good people in some circumstances. So I don't know. I just think that's a cool move for Disney. Could just actually make every Jedi like a superhero, like they kind of did in A little bit, and I mean, I guess there was some moral gray area, but I feel like the later trilogy, the most recent trilogy, I feel like it was still kind of like the Jedi, they're like, oh, amazing. A little bit. I guess they didn't. They kind of broke that stereotype a little bit. Still,
they tried
in some ways. They tried. I don't know if they succeeded, but they
Rian
tried.
Johnson tried, and then they're like, nope.
It was a little bit weird. But I'm just saying they could very easily make them all just like superheroes that everyone would buy merchandise for. But at least they, get some development and say like, oh yeah, you know what, the Jedi is complicated too. So that's neat. I approve.
Yeah. I guess without much else context, so the plot line I'm on is one where Obi-Wan goes undercover, like, and I'm like, that doesn't sound like a thing a Jedi would do. Like, he does this, like, undercover mission. And then, like, Anakin even believes that, like, they do all this stuff to, like, make it seem like Obi-Wan dies and stuff. And then Anakin has feelings because of that, and he kind of isn't happy. And I'm like, okay, well, that right there, that's when you guys pushed Anakin to the dark side. Like, started messing with his mind. But, yeah, so, it's good, though. We can move on to TV news.
Yeah.
This is arguably
big moves earlier. So
yes, yeah. So this is arguably the biggest news I think of like that we'll be talking about on this episode. The first one is that most recent one, I guess. The Funimation library of anime shows and movies is moving to Crunchyroll. Like, if you go log on to Crunchyroll now, like, you'll see a lot more of the dubbed stuff and, like, a lot more of the, like, bigger stuff that was on Funimation. You'll see that on Crunchyroll now.
Yeah, I'm hyped about that.
Yes, it's really cool, because now it's going to be all in one place. You don't have to buy 2 services now.
So annoying to have to, like, be like, oh, is this anime on Funimation or Crunchyroll? Yeah.
And Crunchyroll's a better app, too.
Yeah, I think we did end up canceling our Funimation account. I really hope we did.
That'd did. Really I canceled mine.
I'd be really awkward if we still had one. But we had one just to watch one show. A single show.
Yeah.
And granted, I don't even know if that show's necessarily moving to Crunchyroll, but it's like the fact that that will be less likely to happen in the future.
What was it?
It was the Persona 5 animation.
Oh, I don't know if it's on there yet.
I don't know if it got moved over, but
like 80%, I guess, according to this article, 80% of Funimation's library has already made it to Crunchyroll.
Oh my gosh! That's
and they say the rest will be there by the end of March, or
which is
at the end of March.
I mean, like, pair that with like the Crunchyroll app is on Switch now and that sort of thing. It's like, okay, cool. Crunchyroll's actually becoming
and Crunchyroll has really good exclusive stuff that they're doing right now. Like, they got the Blade Runner anime thing, and then they just put out the Shenmue like anime. So it's like there's stuff on Crunchyroll I want to watch.
Heck yeah.
Along with all the other stuff. So loads of content, and I think you can. It's like the lowest price for that is like $7.99, so it's not going to break the bank at all. But it's just going to add to the 10 other streaming services that everybody pays for. But all in one place this time.
Yeah, so, I love it.
Yeah, I put a bunch of stuff on my watch list like that I wanted to watch, and so I don't know when I'll get to all that, but that's exciting time for anime fans.
Yes.
The other news, which I've still been struggling to find like a legit source for, but all of these like websites have been reporting on it. I guess on Tuesday, Disney had said that. So I think something we missed to talk about on the podcast. I think we had a break when it happened, but the Netflix Marvel shows left Netflix on March 1st, which was last Tuesday. And so everybody's like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And then on Tuesday, Disney announced somewhere, apparently, I haven't found where yet, but they announced that all these Netflix shows, these Marvel shows, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., are coming to Disney Plus, which is pretty huge. Mainly because, like, Disney Plus, the big thing about that was, like, oh, we're not going to have mature content on our streaming service. And well, it's like, now you do. Now you're going to.
All of the stuff. I was going to say, like, literally even just Jessica Jones or just, like, one of those shows, but no, they're moving them all. So that's, I think it's, for the best. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's nicer to actually be able to have all the Disney Marvel things in one place. But yeah, that was the one thing I think that was keeping them from doing that, was the fact that it's like actually dark content.
Yeah. And then now they're getting the rights back to all that stuff. That's why, like, there's been talks of Charlie Cox being in more stuff now, too, because
Yeah.
I think now the rights of Daredevil and, like, Jessica Jones and some of those earlier ones are back in their hands.
Still need to watch Jessica Jones and probably Daredevil too. I should watch these shows.
Good.
I
Yeah.
have so many shows on my list, and I'm really bad at watching shows. That's the
Yeah.
problem. I'm really bad at it. So
There's a lot of good shows out there. So much to watch and play these days. Like, I just can't do it all.
it's actually crazy.
Yeah. The thing that I do want to say is coming with this move is that apparently Disney Plus is updating their parental controls, which is probably a good thing, if you're concerned about that. But also, this is the first time I guess the US has mature content on Disney Plus starting on the 16th, because Disney Plus in other countries was getting movies and other shows, I think other shows that were only coming to Hulu. So, like, this is the first for the US. I think Disney Plus on Hulu has, like, a bunch of Fox movies and stuff that's already, like, rated R and everything. But
Yeah.
this is huge. Like, I'm, like, in my mind, I'm like, well, if you guys knew you were going to do this, you could have just went all in with Moon Knight. But we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it says something if you can make a dark and crazy show without having to make it TVMA. So
That is true.
But yeah, we'll have to see, like, where shows go from now on, now that the Netflix shows are here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is it for the TV news. Are you geeking out about anything else?
Not really. I mentioned I was back reading Rhythm of War. I started a long time ago, but I just kind of got distracted and did an involuntary sort of break on it. But now I'm finally reading up to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm actually interested in what's going on. So we'll see how long it takes me to get through. I am reading it instead of listening to it on audiobook.
That's what I need to do now that I don't have much time for audiobooks. I need to just start reading Oathbringer again, which I got close to finishing.
Nice.
So it's like I just probably need to, like, get the book itself now.
Yeah, but it's good. I don't really know what more to say about it because I don't want to spoil anything, but that's just the thing. Actually, I guess I will talk about Brandon Sanderson.
I was going to ask you about that while we're on the topic. I was going to ask what you thought about the fundraising thing.
If people don't know, if people aren't in the loop, basically Brandon Sanderson is an insane man because he wrote like 5 books in secret over the last 2 years, like 2.
And then George R. R. Martin can't even finish one.
Yeah, it's oh my gosh, it's so funny because he posted a video about this, right, to announce this, and he's just like, I handle stress in my way, you can handle stress in your way. My way is writing books. So I'm like, you know what? I respect it, but have you considered therapy? So
I was gonna say he must truly love that, like, I don't know. It seems like it's more just like a hobby. It's like a passion, like.
Yeah, and it's crazy because he broke down how the fact it's like, before what was taking so much of his time was literally just traveling. And with COVID, like, he couldn't travel anymore. So he had all this extra time. So, I mean, logically, it makes sense. It's logically sound, but it's also just like, oh my gosh, dude, you're nuts.
You're a madman.
Basically, this led to a Kickstarter where he's like, you know what, I want to make kind of like a Year of Sanderson book club type thing. So you join the Kickstarter, and there's different levels, of course, because that's how Kickstarters work. But you can put in money and we'll send you one book every couple months, with 5 books being for the whole year. And then if you want even more than that, if you want, like, there's selections for ebook, there's selections for audiobook, things like that. But
That's
then
amazing.
It's like there's also selections where you can have loot boxes. So if, like, you want to just, like, further support him, or you want more, like, swag, I guess, from Brandon Sanderson's, works, then you can get the loot boxes too. So that's very cool.
That's awesome.
It was a very cool video. He even said that, like, he's going to try his very, very best to keep everything as spoiler free as possible. He released some videos that have no details. Like, we don't even know the titles of these books. All we know is the cover art, which is, like, very, like, kind of vague cover art, really. There's nothing specific. Like,
that's exciting.
some books. So, and he released videos that's like, so if you want to know more about these books before, because like some people obviously want to.
Oh, they're gonna dig into every detail.
They want to know kind of what they're getting into, which is totally fair. I mean, for me, that's like with video games, but it's like
super fans want to know everything about it.
Ooh, it'd be kind of fun to go into this totally blind. So Daniel and I haven't put our money in yet, but we probably will, and so then we could just each have.
It's already raised like a ton of money, right?
Saved. It's so well. Here's the thing. It's reached its goal in 35 minutes. After that video was released,
after 35 minutes? Wow.
And it is officially the #1 most funded Kickstarter on Kickstarter.
Wow.
Which is insane because like
that's
that
amazing.
Beats Undertale, that beats like,
everything.
That beats everything. It is literally the most funded Kickstarter.
That's
in
awesome.
History. So probably I'll get my money in. It's 2023, right? So like you get the Kickstarter now, but like it starts kicking in 2023. That's all. I'll be the year Sanderson. So that's pretty exciting. But that's what prompted me to start reading Rhythm of War again, because I'm like, oh dang, I really need to finish Rhythm of War if I'm going to like try to commit to like more Sanderson stuff. And next year, like I can finish this by next year probably, maybe. Yeah. It's a big freaking book, so we'll see.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, that is what I'm geeking out about. Besides all the other stuff,
that's awesome. That's worth talking about, even though we don't like have a category for it. So that's like the perfect timing to mention that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I need to get back to Oathbringer as well. Super close.
Be inspired like me.
yeah. So that's super exciting for fans of his work. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that is about it for this episode. Where can they find you?
So you can find me on Twitter at TheShellshock24. You can find me streaming Persona 4 Golden Tuesday nights at twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace.
Cool. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at WarHeroLJ and streaming on the Geeks Under Grace Twitch channel on Fridays. Twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace, playing some Kenna Bridge of Spirits.
Yeah.
So that's our show. Keep gaming, keep praying, and God bless.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter, or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.
It's on!